What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. I got all your Juventus news. All right, is Kone now the guy emerging as the top target for January? We now have Charlie Patino in the mix. All right, and Toni Kroos has an approach already made by Juventus. We got Max's presser ahead of the match tomorrow against Roma, and then Serie A, no growth decree and no Super League clause. We're going to tackle it all right now. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, being reported today that Exor is ready to take on the capital increase for the club up to just shy of 80 million euros. A lot of fans asking, what does this mean for Juventus? Remember a month and a half ago when we reported that in a meeting, our friend John Groh stated that Francesco Calvo said the cleanup will be done this year. It had everything to do with the financials. This is a major step into getting there. All right, so great positive news for the club. As far as the league goes, Serie A yesterday found out that the Italian government has scrapped the extension to the growth decree, so clubs will no longer be able to take the tax savings on foreign player signings. This will hurt clubs. Today in Max Allegri's press conference, he said a little bit about it, just basically stating that he feels Juventus is serene in this moment over that news because of their great scouting, great recruitment, and integration of young players. However, furthermore, in Serie A, we got the other news that the 24-25 season registration will include clubs having to sign a no Super League clause. All right, so you have essentially Gravina being Ceferin's lapdog, all right, and doing the dirty work for him. Obviously, from a league standpoint, this makes absolutely no sense why you wouldn't want your clubs to get more money, to bring in more talent, especially losing the growth decree, all right? Furthermore, your TV ratings are brutal and continue to go down. What if the top clubs in Serie A said, you know what, we're not signing this, we're not registering? Do you think the FIGC could afford that? Absolutely not. So again, this is a small battle in a long war that is going to be happening with Super League and FIFA and UEFA, etc. But Gravina doing Ceferin's dirty work here. What's going to be interesting is it's tough to say whether or not it is cut and dry that this plays into the European Top Court ruling, which says FIFA and UEFA cannot interfere in the Super League project. And the reason is because this is a federation's registration for league, which they could technically set up this way. However, how can you truly separate it completely 100% when the federation falls in line with the FIFA umbrella? It's not so cut and dry. Like I said, this war will wage on, and this is yet another battle and hurdle that the Super League is going to have to go. But from a league standpoint, with no growth decree, drop TV ratings, no visible signs of any increase of any sort for revenue for these clubs in Italy, this is just an absolutely brutal move from Gravina. But again, we all know why he's doing it. All right, so in turn, you're shooting yourself in the foot and the clubs. Do we expect these clubs to make a big push, a big swing, a bold statement and not sign the registration? I feel when Inter, your top club, okay, Champions League finalist, has such a massive debt, I don't think these teams really feel strong enough or that they have the leverage to not register for Serie A or fight this fight. We also don't know who UEFA got to with some money under the table, which I'm sure came out to blast and denounce Super League when this all began. And we know the Germans do everything together. So you get Bayern, you've got Germany, you got PSG in their back pocket already. That's France. It's going to be a long and hard fight for Super League, but this one, right now with the growth decree and now this, it's very difficult for the Italian clubs. you got to figure something out one way or another. Now, we get going into the mercato rumblings. Charlie Patino, apparently a target for Giuntoli in January. There are some other reports saying that Keane could be used to go the other direction and whatnot, but nothing from any strong sources. However, Mirko Di Natale does say Charlie Patino would be one of Giuntoli's targets. He also said keep an eye out for Sudakov. However, reports suggest from Fabrizio Romano there's already a 35 million euro offer on the table for Sudakov. I do not believe Juventus is going to be able to come in around that number. But we have Kone. Kone is listed by Mirko Di Natale as a name to watch out for in January. This has a lot of Juventini excited, but is Mönchengladbach going to be moving the player in January? Sources suggest only if the fee is large enough. So we have to wait and see. Toni Kroos, we got news about him 2 weeks ago. I'm all for it. There are some rumblings that Juve's already made an approach, but of course he would have to agree to a decrease in salary, all right? But Toni Kroos, sign me up, all right? That's the latest in terms of mercato rumblings. We do have one last one, and that is that Juve are definitely trying for Giallo. This comes again from Mirko Di Natale, but he does state Inter are in the lead for the player, but both clubs seem to be looking at when his contract expires, all right? Now, we get the big game tomorrow against Roma. We are going to be live here, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, getting you hyped up for it. I am going to be bringing you a live watch-along as well. Max's presser, he had this to say. De Sciglio, Sandro, and Keane. Outside of that, everyone else is fine and available, all right? He said Weah or McKennie could be playing as right wing back. Asked about Yildiz, he says he'll decide tomorrow on who plays. Asked about Kostic and if Illing Jr. would come in, he said Kostic is important and reliable to us, and Illing is an important substitute, all right? So he threw a lot of praise Roma's way, saying this is going to be a tough game. They're a tough team and coached by one of the best. Showing respect to Jose Mourinho. The projected lineup from Di Marzio is this. Szczesny in goal. You have Gatti, Bremer, and Danilo. Across the middle, you have McKennie with Miretti as a Mezzala, Locatelli, Rabiot, and then Kostic with Chiesa and Vlahovic up top. I have no problems with that lineup, all right? Absolutely none. Wouldn't mind maybe trying Hans Nicolucci Caviglia in the heart with Locatelli moving out. Again, just trying to get more impact out of the middle. I'm also open to Yildiz as an advanced midfield behind Chiesa and Vlahovic, but I have no problems with this lineup. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, but comment with everything you feel about the news you just heard, all right? And I can't wait to see you all on the live tomorrow morning. Get hyped up for this big game. Let's finish off 2023 in style and take it to Roma. As always, till tomorrow, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.